Council. I got a couple things on your beautification. Have you, anything been done or anything for a feasibility study for curb and gutter?
We're on law right now, Chuck.
Huh?
We're on law right now. Is there anything
Oh,
in law?
I thought he said comments.
Yeah, we're just on the law part of the
Oh.
agenda. Do you have anything?
Well,
on the law?
yeah, I do. What is the cost for the split or whatever you're gonna,
The cost for the,
is it 400 and some thousand?
We have no figures put together yet.
well,
Or is
there
it
was at one point. There was.
Well, I've heard anything from 300 to 400,000.
Yeah, I think it was 3 something.
What they were asking for?
Yeah, so they met, yeah.
You mean the cost, like what the county was asking for?
Yeah,
I think they were asking for 325,000.
325,000. Well, I got a comment on part of that on the beautification part.
Okay.
So when we get to that, well, we know we will.
Next on the agenda.
Our current budget is around 400.
400,000 for them?
Well, for our city,
Right, I understand.
Yep.
Your gas, their gas, your overtime, everything is included in that?
if their cost, it would save us roughly 75,000.
And what was it before? When you were full staffed? Because this year,
Oh, it was
this
lower.
year you weren't staffed all the way.
Right.
So now you're fully staffed, you cut out the overtime, right?
So our police expenditures for last year, you guys can help me out, was, looking at it here, Gene, is it, so
Last year,
200,
Last year,
year-to-date actual is 296.
It was 396,
296.
296? Why did it jump, why has it jumped up over 400,000 now then?
Well, that's just what we are, our budgeted amount was 371 last year.
That would have been if you were, maybe been if you were fully staffed for the whole year, but we've never been fully staffed for a whole year.
So we were
Right.
actually under budget.
Well, you were when,
Yeah, but that wasn't for, even for a whole
right,
year
right.
either.
But I mean, now, I know that the last couple of years, you haven't been fully staffed.
Right.
And there was gonna be a lot of overtime. And I know that price goes up versus having a full staff. Right?
Right, yep, we were roughly 40,000 under budget last year.
Yeah. And you're going way over this year.
We're probably gonna be within budget this year. Did you say, Gene?
if we stay within our,
Who knows?
if we stay within our overtime limit that we have,
Yeah, our chief is watching the budget, we might be close.
we'll be about, we'll have about 6,000 excess.
Yeah, see, that, and I understand, because like corporate America, I knew what the overtime was, you know.
Yeah, adds up, yeah.
It adds up. Terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all for now.
Okay, further on law. Yes.
So, you said there's no action going to be taken on our,
The chief is gonna handle that problem, is what I can tell you right now.
Chief's working on it.
what are we doing at Maytime? We're going to keep being
Um,
fast or?
Do you have a bit of a plan that you kind of,
I'll have something in place by tomorrow.
it may be, yeah, would you be able to maybe let them know your plan, or how do we want to do that? Have a conversation with, on the plan? I guess, I don't know. If he was able to communicate that with you guys, would that be,
Yeah, 'cause this is serious.
okay.
Right, it's serious.
And does he have your contact information?
There should be no communication, or we need to have some communication on it. What your
Why
plan
don't
is.
you can just step outside and have the conversation now?
Or you could at some point, yeah, have a conversation on it. I think we have a plan to move forward, chief does, and hopefully it works out. Who's better?
Did you guys talk about, is there a complaint process
It's,
within the organization and where it goes? You submit a complaint on law enforcement, the police officer for whatever action it took, then I know, does it go to him, does it come to you, does it go any further than that, if it's more of a serious violation? And if it's a serious violation, are they put on leave, are they suspended, are they terminated? Was that discussed at all?
it has been discussed, and there are actions that the chief is gonna take, but if you have a specific complaint on law, bring it up,
Where do we take that to?
right here.
Right here, right now.
Right here.
I mean, we do have a process with the department. You can write a statement, bring it to me, and I will investigate it.
Okay.
And then if it's a serious matter, I can take it up higher to the state, and we can go that process as well.
Okay.
Do you have a specific complaint?
No, I was just wondering what the complaint process was, because, there was, a lot of complaints out there that was flowing, but they had no idea how to address it, where they needed to submit their
Well, they could-
complaint.
Even come into the office and I can give them a complaint form to fill out and I would give it to the appropriate person.
Okay.
Oh, what about the videos, like, if they're taking videos, who do the videos go to? Would that be to you?
Yes.
I know there's some videos out there, the incident that happened out to Sunrise the other night.
And I do have that.
And we've all actually seen that.
You've watched it.
Yep, we have.
And if you can make sure that those complaints or videos also come to us, especially on an incident like that, so we can make sure that they're being followed up on and addressed.
My question and concern is how much training do these officers get before they're setting a vehicle by themselves, with a gun, with a badge, writing tickets, pulling people over?
That's
I
a
mean-
question for chief.
There should be a set amount of time the law enforcement gets put with another officer before they get to.
How much time is that?
With one officer, it was a month, and the other officer, he had a month prior with a different agency, and then about 2 weeks with us.
But you don't have a set policy on how long.
No.
It would be up to the chief.
And then my other comment on, it's pretty hard on business when you got cops driving through your parking lot, pulling over people as they come to town or when they leave the town for no apparent reason. Or you have a cop sitting in your parking lot while you have customers inside. It's very hard on my business. And it has been hard on all the business around town.
It's especially hard on us out of the casino because we have a dispensary. And so, they assume that we're coming from the dispensary when we actually are in the casino. And so we've lost a lot of business because people are too scared to come. And I don't know, it's just, they won't show up because they're afraid of getting pulled over
Is
for
it,
leaving the casino.
a lot of the concern is really with the patrol on the highway, is that kind of the main concern?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
We have people that are scared because they don't know if they're just gonna get pulled over for, going 5 miles over or 4 miles over, and then I know at last city meeting, he said that don't pull people over for that speed, but
I think one of our main things, and I said this before, was just, we were having some graffiti and breaking in problems, things like that, and we're never really fully staffed, and we did staff up, and these guys are kind of new to the area, so I think the chief has a plan in place, he's really trying to work on, definitely made some mistakes, trying to fix those, if you will, and make sure that we really take the problem that we're having with the break-ins and the vandalism and stuff that we wanted to.
I got one other comment. Oh, there's been 3 or 4 times I leave Volna at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, head home. There's a city cop sitting at the North Mile. No other traffic around, nobody there. Why would you have an officer sitting out at the North Mile if they're supposed to be patrolling the city limits mark? I mean, I could
Wasn't
blow
aware
by
of that.
I
it's
could blow by
information
him at
we-
70 miles an hour, and once I get past that mile, he can't do the damn thing anyway, because he's not, he can't do anything without over a mile of city limits, from what I understand.
That will also be addressed.
And was it brought up during executive when they came into the casino still with their firearms?
Yes.
In
I
uniform?
had just heard about this. I am investigating. I will start my investigation on that.
That was
Oh, yeah, because there's a no firearms policy written right on the casino door.
That was addressed. Anything further on law, Samantha?
I feel like they drive by my building at least 7, 8 times. And I open at 4 p.m., so from 4 to 9, I'm very slow now. And also, business dies after like 10 o'clock because they post up by the baseball fields or they like zoom through the baseball fields in my parking lot. They almost hit one of my customers as they were backing out. They were driving, like they go through the baseball field, the back road, and like up. And I haven't witnessed it, but every time they come in and tell me, they're like, well, we're only gonna, sit here for a couple minutes because they're outside watching. But then every time I go out, they're gone. But it is very hard on business, especially for my location.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm one of her main customers, and I haven't been in there for a while. And, there's people family out to eat there, and because of what's going on, we quit
Yeah.
closing.
I couldn't even do anything for New Year's because I was scared that, I was gonna be losing money than rather than having, my customers feeling like they could leave, to go home.
Well, thank you all for your
All our
concerns.
money, yeah.
Right?
I wanted to be the last one. I'm gonna leave after what I'm gonna say. This political football that's been kicked back and forth, and that's countywide law enforcement. I think that you guys have stymied yourselves now. And I think it would be nice, and I think the people of this community have the right to vote on that. And I think that should be put out for a public vote, to whether the citizens of this county and this city want to have countywide law enforcement. By not doing it, when there's nobody on, you guys could be liable as a city council. Because when you have a police department, like I said earlier, it's your job to provide 24/7 law enforcement. That's what you pay for. And that's what the people think that's here, and it's not. So I really believe that there should be a vote by the people on this. And that's what democracy is. Let the people decide. And I don't think it would cost that much to have one day of election, countywide or not. Show up and vote. If you don't vote, that's fine. If you do vote, that's fine. But I think that would be fair to the people of this community in this town. And thank you for your time, guys, and listening to us. And I just hope that something like that could happen. You give the people the option to decide. It's so easy to do. Then it's off all of your shoulders, off all of the county commissioners. The people decide it. It's simple as that. So thank you for your time.
I have one more issue before I go to.
Sure, Greg.
On this question,
Have a good one.
how much
Yeah.
police officers are out there in the field?
Yeah.
To follow up on that, is there a certification requirement?
They have
What was
to
the
go
question again? I'm
through-
sorry.
they
Is
have
there a
to-
certification requirement?
So you can work in the state for 1 year without being certified. You have to go to the county within 1 year of being hired on with your department.
So you can just come off the street and get a uniform and then carry a gun and a badge and assume what you can do out there and maybe violate rights and stuff like that, and the city will back that.
What's your process back there? Background checks?
Yeah, background checks, if I have any concerns, I speak with LAT directly. I speak with the previous managers, the normal background stuff. Sometimes it goes a little bit more in depth if they have any sort of record on them. I have to get police reports and everything else as well.
Captain Reicher?
I won't hold up the meeting, just to clarify what Mr. Vianis asked. Normally, the way it works on stateside is usually an officer gets hired after they do their background check. Once they're done with their background check, they begin their FTO training. Usually the FTO training stands for Field Training Officer. Comes in, they take that person, they usually do anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 weeks where they don't even see a patrol car. They literally are inside of a building. They learn the paperwork process, the policies, laws. During that process, they also take online training to learn jurisdictional stuff, civil process if they work for the sheriff's office. Once they are sufficient in that, then normally they start their field training where they go into patrol car. They usually sit passenger seat while the FTO drives, observes them on different calls. Once they can learn that,